Welcome back, my dear viewers. Let's turn that off. There we go. Sorry, Mike came with the new echo feature and I just kind of wanted to use that. Anyways, we've only been like a few seconds into this and I'm already sidetracked. This is gonna be a great video, I'm telling you. So, if you've been on this channel for a while, you might become familiar with the horror genre, specifically internet horror. You know, stuff like analog horrors, creepypastas, or horror mods and games, i.e. Friday Night Funkin'. That's basically every single Friday Night Funkin' Power Hour on this channel. But besides all that, you might have heard me talk about a very specific genre of internet horror, which is video game horror. And the biggest one yet is Sonic horror, mainly Sonic.exe. Yes, it all comes back to the blue bloody-eyed bastard, which, given how big this fandom is, it's a surprise that it all sparked from the very terrible creepypasta with the most god-awful person that wrote it behind it. But honestly, the fandom has grown so far apart from the original story and the original creator of it that it's kind of been its own thing, with people who make their own stories, make their own games on it. And as someone who has a hyperfixation of both internet horror and the Sonic franchise, I am stuck to that shit like Winnie the Pooh stuck on honey. Did I write that? What the fuck? But what if I told you this subgenre sparked another subgenre within itself that combines two of the most unlikely things together? I tell you what, that's a thing that happens in a lot of these fandoms. Do you all remember when we mixed fucking Hetalia with Vocaloid and called it Hitalialoid? That shit was wild, and also had some banger covers. I still listen to one of them until this day. Anyways, we're not talking about that. That's another video for another day. Anyways, no, the two things we are talking about that have been meshed together is Sonic and Dead by Daylight. Didn't see that one coming, did ya? And that, my friends, is what's exactly happening on Roblox. Now, I'm gonna be straight up. I know there's a lot of other ASIM horror games with other IPs, like the game Bite by Night, which is Five Nights at Freddy's, the Catastrophes, which is Mario, and Perish Song, which is Pokemon. I'm gonna be real, I never thought there would be a Pokemon ASIM game, but here we are. But, you know, we're gonna focus more specifically on Sonic ASIM horror games, or Sonic asymmetrical horror games. But in this video, we are specifically talking about one game in this genre. Yes, folks, the game I have been teasing throughout this entire month that I would talk about. We're finally getting into it. This, my friends, is Outcome Memories. Did that sound cool? I hope it sounded cool. Now, I know I have talked about this game on my channel, and I said I wouldn't do like a whole overview of the game, but to that I say, I'm a huge liar. I thought the game was shutting down, so I didn't really feel the need to make an overview of the game, but they said they would keep the game up, so that's why this video is being made. Also, whenever I did talk about the game, it's only been about the drama, and mostly petty drama if I'm gonna be real. But I solely want this video to stay focused on just an overview on the game, and not, you know, about all the drama and stuff. Also, I was going to wait until the new and final update came out to make this video, but since Sobi talked about maybe reviving the game and saying they wanted to wait until the final update came out to make this decision, I just decided to, you know what, might as well make the video. Also, I don't know how long the final update's gonna be, and I've been sitting on this idea for a while, and I just kind of want to do it. When the final update comes out, and if a decision comes out, I will make a video about both of those. It'll be a race and ramble or a game and ramble, whatever game I decide. But anyways, that's all that stuff out of the way. Now on to the actual video. you're probably asking, Cece, what the hell is actually Outcome Memories? You talk about it so damn much, but we don't even know what the actual game's about. Well, folks, it's an ASIM horror game with Sonic. What else you... No, I'm just kidding. While it is an ASIM horror game like Dead by Daylight, it plays completely different from Dead by Daylight. Wow! See, you have the standard survivors, or as they're known in the game, victims, versus the killers, or executioners. I like executioners better than killers. It sounds like a better name. Also, executioners, EXE. I see what you fucking did there, OM team. That was really clever. Anyways, but instead of the survivors being, you know, the helpless victims trying to unlock the way to escape, oh god, help me. You actually have to work together with a group of 2 to 7 other victims, and you actually have to fight back against the executioner, and you have to stall that bitch for as long as you can until the escape ring spawns, and then you have to escape within the time limit that is given to you. Yes, there's an actual time limit for how long you have to survive until you escape. The time, it varies on depending how big the lobby is. If you have a full lobby of 7 victims, the timer is at 8 minutes max. If your lobby of 6, 7 minutes, 5, 6 minutes, you know, so on and so forth. You get the idea. Yeah, that's how OM works. You don't get no gens, no gates, you just have to survive. Heck, you don't even get to choose if you want to be the killer or a survivor. That's right, folks. There's this thing called EXE chance in the game, and depending on how long you've gone without being an executioner, that chance of you becoming the executioner in the next game raises every single time until it's finally your turn to be the killer. So, you know, that's one of the things I like about this game, is that you can actually experience what it's like to be on both sides of the coin, you know? To be the hunter or the huntee. Yeah. Unless, you know, you want to turn off the EXE chance in the main menu, you know? Like a coward. No, just kidding. I don't get what the big deal is with people having problems with players turning off EXE chance. Be like, oh, you're such a god. You know. Look, I say, if you just purely want a survivor experience, you could turn it off. That's totally fine in my book. But I would encourage you to maybe turn that on from time to time. As someone who strictly only likes playing as survivor, sometimes when you get chosen as the killer, it's actually really fun. You know, I may suck as being the executioner, but it is genuinely a fun time, especially with friends. You can target the shit out. No, just kidding. Don't do that. Don't target people in this game. You will fucking get mollywopped by every single victim. Then you will be the victim. But yeah, I encourage everyone to give Executioner a shot. Yeah. Now, let's go into the lore of this game. Transition time. Whoa! Now, before we get into the lore talk, I do want to clarify some things. Most of the lore that I am getting for this game is from the unofficial Outcome Memories wiki. So just want to shout those guys out. I'm not going to read it word for word. I'm going to give you Cliff Notes versions. But you know, thank God for the wiki. I would not have gotten most of my info if it wasn't for this wiki. So show them all the love. Now let's get into the lore talk, baby. So, every single person in this game, including survivors and killers, have been pulled into this sort of void-like realm. By who and for what? Well, for the what is kind of obvious. For these very fucked up cat and mouse chases, that's the why. But the who? That I cannot answer. That was never explained in the lore. People suspect it's this king character. We don't really know what their deal is, and it's never, like, actually fully explained in this little lore up. But, you know, that is the number one suspect. You know, this lore is kind of giving Dead by Daylight also. Where they're all dragged in by the entity to play these fucked up games. Is that Dead by Daylight lore? I don't know. I don't really play it. Anyways, that's the lore of why they're there. Now, to get into some fun little tidbits about the lore, all of the Sonic characters are pulled in from different timelines and different dimensions. That's why you see some of them have the classic style, like, for instance, Blaze in Silver. This is before, like, Blaze becomes the standing princess, I think, in her kingdom. And before Silver, like, goes back in time to save everybody. I think that's really neat to explain why all the characters have the classic look. It's very cute. And the creative freedom they had with some of these new designs look absolutely awesome and cute. In Cream's case, look at her. Look at her. She's so cute. They gave her a little bow and a new little dress. She's so cute. And what they did with Blaze, she looks badass. Not gonna lie. Look at her. And the fact that they gave Amy her old classic design too. He's very cute. I love how, like, even though that Amy doesn't really have a mouth, you can still kind of tell she's smiling in her render. It is very cute. I like it very much. I love Amy. She's my baby. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, the lore tidbits. Anyways, so since most of the main cast are from different timelines and different worlds and all that stuff, they don't really know each other. Like, some of them might not know each other. Like, it's obvious that Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy know each other, and Eggman and all that shit. But Shadow might not know everybody because he's probably pulled from the Ark timeline, which fucking wild to be on the space Ark colony and then go to like these fucked up games, be like, what the fuck? And in Blaze and Silver's case, I think they're the only ones that know each other. I think, even though that might not make any sense, but in the fan-made Silver solo screen by Astra Nova, that is was one of the main composers of the game. We're not gonna talk about that situation. That's a whole can of worms I don't want to get into. But in that video, it shows Silver kind of like taking Blaze's cape with him to like safety, and then he like looks at it very sadly, and he like, as he puts it down on the ground and walks away. So it kind of hints that Silver and Blaze might know each other, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Don't quote me on it, please. Anyway, that was a very long-winded way of saying they might not know each other. Some of them might know each other. Who knows? Depends on the timeline they're in. But it is very clear that all of them know who Sonic is. I mean, if you look at all the monsters, of course, you would know who Sonic is from looking at these fuckers. Oh, and the last fun tidbit, each survivor remembers each death that they had in each games. I think we all owe Tails and Cream, and maybe Metal Sonic, a huge apology after discovering this information. Anyways, yeah, that's all the lore tidbits, that's all the lore. Not much happening in it because, you know, the game got thrown in the game. Anyways, if they do decide to pick the game back up again, which after shit came out, I don't know if that's gonna happen anymore. But if they do, that's the time they can improve on the lore a bit. But as of now, that is all we got. We're starving here in the Outcome Memories trenches, I swear to God. I haven't eaten in weeks anyway. Now that we've got the lore down, why don't we talk about the actual gameplay itself? Alright, so I already basically gave y'all a quick rundown of how the game actually works, right? One of yous gets picked as the killer, and the others picks whichever victim they want to play as, and as the killer, you have to kill everybody before the time runs out, and as the survivor, or the victim, you have to stall the killer for as long as you can until the escape ring spawns, and then you can, like, get the fuck out of there, right? Sounds easy enough, right? But how do you actually stall and survive the executioner? Well, with the survivors, of course. What else did you think you were gonna use? No, just kidding. But yeah, you've got a wonderful cast of all the Sonic characters that the devs were able to put in the game before, you know, Doomsday, but you know, you've got a good sizable amount of victims to choose from, and each of them has their own unique movesets and playstyles and roles. Like Sonic is all about speed with his moveset. Knuckles is all about, you know, fisticuffs. Look at him, he's like Rocky. Look at him go. Amy with her tarot cards. If you didn't know, that's actually canon to Sonic lore. Wow. And Cream with her Chow Cheese. That'll actively die for you. What a real trooper, am I right, folks? Anyways. In the arms of an angel. Point being, each character has their own unique abilities that are, you know, very unique to each of their personalities and stuff, which I think is really cool. They really fit within their roles and stuff. Oh yeah, roles. There are 3 main roles you gotta be aware of. The stunners, the supports, and the survivalists. Now, stunners and supports are pretty self-explanatory. The stunners are the one who actively go out to fight the EXE to stun them. The supports are the one who go and support the teammates. I swear to God, if you have a support on your team, you guard that motherfucker with your life, I swear to God. Anyways. And then the survivalists are the one who try to stay alive the longest, which is Eggman. No, just kidding. All the Eggman mains are gonna come at me for that anyways. And yeah, that's basically the 3 main classes within this game. As for which characters fit within these classes, that's the neat part. That ultimately depends on how you use the characters in each game. See, this is the one thing I love about Outcome Memories. Each character doesn't specifically fit within one class. Now, there is some characters that only actively fit one class, i.e. Knuckles is mainly gonna be a stunner, and Cream is mainly going to be a support. But with someone like Eggman, yeah, I know I made fun of him for being a survivalist, but hear me out. You can play him like a survivalist, or you can actively use him as a support to help the team. That ultimately depends on how you play as him during the game. Same thing goes for Sonic. He can fit all three of the classes depending on what the situation calls for. Especially Amy, given the fact that she can trade out her tarot cards to give her different stat boosts and buffs to fit whatever role you need at that specific time. Unless you get the moon card. Don't pull the moon card. Unless you want to know what it's like to be legally blind, don't get that. So yeah, I encourage you to try out each of these characters and see which playstyle you like best. Experiment with each of them. See how you like to play as them. You know, if you do actually want to play this game after this video, I know half of you will never touch this game, but you know, just thought I'd throw that out there. Not saying nothing. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, I think that's it for the victims. Now, how do I actually get them out of here? Oh, hey, 2011X, what you doing here?
Ready or not, here I come!
Oh God, 2011, what are you doing? No, stop. Wait, no, not the creep. Come on, man, come on. Wow. That certainly was one way to get rid of them, but was that really necessary?
I am God!
You know what? You're right. Let's get into the executioners. Please don't hurt me. So as the time of this video coming out, there's 4 total killers. I know the roster for executioners is shorter than victims, but you know, Doomsday. I don't know how many times I'm gonna reference that in this video, but you know, just assume every time they're like, oh, there's less things in here than usual. Just assume it was because of Doomsday. Anyways, I keep confusing Doomsday for the actual Doomsday character, and I think that's so fucking funny. So you know what? Every time I say Doomsday, I'm just gonna put the picture of Doomsday in there. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, the executioners. You've got 2011X, you've got Colossus, you've got Tripwire. That's Tails' doll, if you didn't know. They even gave her a new gender. Wow, we're so progressive. Anyways, and then you've got Fleetway. Now each killer has their own playstyles, and they have their, you know, own way of killing the victims. You've got 2011X, who's more of like the trickster killer, mainly because of his moveset. His movesets are all about trying to like trick the victims and get the upper hand on all of them. Besides rage mode, that one's just him being pissed at you. That's pure spite in that move anyways. Then you've got Colossus. The only way I can describe him as a berserker killer, all I need to do is show you this clip. And all of a sudden, that description I gave him makes a whole lot of sense. Anyways, you've got Tripwire, who's more of like a hands-off kind of killer, I would say. Like, her whole moveset revolves around setting mines around the map and using her little, you know, puppet strings to like attach to other survivors and sap the life force out of them. Which, terrifying enough if it actually does kill you. And then finally, you got Fleetway.
Get out of my face!
Side note, he's the only killer in this roster with a health bar, so the victims can actually whoop your ass and kill you. Be smart. Anyways, the best way I can describe him is that he's that movable boss that you're fighting in a JRPG, and you could feel yourself get angrier by the second trying to dodge all of his attacks, but he keeps ramming himself at you to fucking try to kill you, and then you just keep getting pissed at him. That's all I can describe Fleetway as. Fucking hate the fucker. Anyways, I think that's all I have for the killer's playstyle in this game. And yeah, I think that's it, everything gameplay-wise. But game-wise, oh no, there's still a whole bunch of shit in this. And I want to talk about all of it because I love all of it. I love this fucking game. Ooh, let's get into it. Now, from everything we've talked about and seen so far, it's already very apparent that the devs poured nothing but love and passion into this game. But if you think that stopped at the characters, designs, and movesets, oh boy, are you very mistaken. There's a whole bunch of shit that they poured into this game. Like, for instance, the stages. Very good transition there, Cece. Thank you, Cece. Anyways, now at the time of me recording this, there are 5 stages, and each of them are very iconic stages for both Sonic canon and Sonic EXE lore. Like, first one, we've got Green Hill Zone. Not only a well-known stage for being the first stage in Sonic history, but it's also the first stage in Sonic.exe. You know, the very iconic one where Tails is just walking around, and then all of a sudden you see the dead Flicky, and then Sonic's at the end, and then you're like, oh, it's Sonic, and then he becomes creepy, and then he starts killing everyone. Yeah, that iconic stage. And what they did with this stage is so cool. So when you first get into the map, it's all bright and sunny, and the music's all mellowed out and calm and peaceful. And then when one of you sees the fucking executioner, bam! Lightning flashes and the stage all of a sudden goes dark and gloomy, and the atmosphere takes a huge tonal shift to a more, spooky one as you're all fighting and running for your lives. I think that was a very nice touch that I don't think a lot of people talk about as much, but I noticed it and I thought it was really cool. So now you noticed it and you think it's cool. I hope you think it's cool anyways. And then you've got You Can't Run, which takes some inspo from Scrap Brain Zone from the first Sonic game, but it's also known as Knuckles' final resting place. Yes, I had to show that cutscene in here. If I had to see it, you had to see it. But yeah, this is Knuckles' level in Sonic EXE. It even has the same name, You Can't Run. Wow. What they should have called it is Where the Fuck Am I? Because goddamn do I get lost every single time I am on this stage, and everybody else who's played this stage also gets lost. So, if you ever find yourself on this stage, bring a compass with you. Anyways, on to one of my favorite stages in this game, Lord X's castle, or also known as Hill Dot Gym in the original Sonic EXE game. This is well known for being Eggman's level, the one where Eggman just runs down an infinite flight of stairs. Look at him, he's still going. You think he'll ever reach the bottom? I love that despite the inspo being, Eggman walking simulator, the stage, they did so much with this stage. Like, they put vines everywhere and a bunch of debris everywhere to make it look like an actual rundown castle, which I love very much. They even put a bunch of Lord X statues around everywhere, and that's so cool. Wow. I mean, I knew Lord X was a bit of a narcissist, but I didn't know it was this bad anyways. Next, we have my absolute favorite stage in this game of all time, Not Perfect. Why are you booing me? Why are you booing my girl stage? This stage is from not Sonic.exe, but actually Sally.exe. If you didn't know, Sally Acorn is very popular in the EXE scene. Sega might not have cared enough to give her her own game, but the Sonic EXE fans will definitely put her in every single game. Side tangent aside, yeah, this is Amy's level in Sally.exe. Look at it. Look at it in all of its jumbled and messed up glory. Yeah, this stage is very mishmashed and, looks like a color theorist nightmare with all the colors and shit meshed together. But you know what? There's a reason why this stage is called Not Perfect. I'll see myself. Now let's travel over to Angel's Island, which is very on fire and fucked up. That's because this stage takes a lot of inspo from the Tails level in Sonic EXE called Hide and Seek. You see the resemblance? They both have fire. And then we've got our final stage, Mystic Cave, which takes inspo from Hide and Seek Act 2, not the original Sonic EXE game, but from Sonic.exe Spirits of Hell. I'm gonna go on a bit of a tangent here, but this is one of the best Sonic EXE fan games you will ever find out there. They actually turned the Sonic EXE creepypasta into an actual Sonic mainline story, so it actually makes sense within the Sonic universe, and I love it very much. If you haven't heard of it and are very interested in the game from what I've said, please go check it out. It is a very good fan game. I love it so much. Alright, side tangent over. Get out of here. Not only do these stages look very cool and have a lot of inspiration behind all of them, the music they have for these stages are also straight up bangers. I love all of them. Let me show you some of them. They're so good. Can you tell I like music? Anyways, my personal favorites are Not Perfect and Lord X's Castle. They fit the atmosphere really well, and I love it so much. And what if I told you, not only does each stage has the one song, but they all have 3 songs unique to them. You see, they have the song that plays when you're actually in the level, and then they have their character select song. And then the 80 or less song. What is the 80 or less song? Well, yeah, these songs play at the end of each stage. You know, when the escape ring finally spawns in and the music starts playing, indicating like, hey, the exit is open now, we gotta get the fuck out of here. And the vibe that these songs give off matches that perfectly. Like, it really emphasizes the feeling that you've got to do everything within your power to fucking book it out of there and try not to die. It's really cool. I love that very much. I love that little attention to detail. Like, you didn't have to make specific music for when the escape ring comes in, but they did, and you know what? I love the devs all the more for it. And yeah, I think that's everything stage wise. Now we gotta get into my favorite part about this game, which is the music. The music! Who keeps letting these people into my house? You see, we may have gone over the music that each stage has, but what if I told you that the character themselves have their own music? Like, for example, the Executioners. Let's talk about them for a second. See, what is the Executioner's main goal in this game? Well, if you ask me, I would say it's to, you know, hunt down and chase the victims, right? But how you gonna go and chase the victims without your chase music? Hit it! Yes, my dear viewers, each killer in this game has their own dedicated chase music, specifically when they are hunting down the victims. I think this is so fucking cool. I would even say each chase theme is a certified CC Lars banger. Also, gotta love the little attention to details they add within each song. Specifically 2011X's chase theme. Listen to it. Like, if you listen to this chase theme very closely, this man is literally taunting you as he is actively chasing you around and trying to kill you. Be better, run faster. Like, holy shit, that is so good. Man, Cream, I've been chasing you for a long while now. Have you ever considered, running faster? Just a thought. But not only does each killer have their own chase theme, they have another theme. See, when a character gets knocked down, you can revive that character so they can get back up and keep playing, right? But what happens when the killer chases them again? Well, they don't play the same chase theme, they play a different theme. Last life theme. Yes, folks, killers also get their own last life theme, meaning this is your last chance to escape from the executioner with your life. Otherwise, you're dead. Not gonna lie, these are some of my favorite pieces of music from this entire game because they really put that feeling of this is the one final chance I have at survival, and you can feel that immensely, like the dread that it fills you with when the song starts playing and you turn around to see the executioner is right behind you starting to chase you, and you have to decide whether you're going into fight or flight mode to try to stay alive. And, I love that so much. Now for some other pieces of music from the killers. Each killer has their own terror radius music that plays when the killer is actively in your area. So, if you hear that, you better book it the fuck out of there. And also, each character has their own cosmetic and costumes. And you know what that means? More chase themes! Yes, folks, 2011X does have a Miku skin. Yes, it does have custom music to it. Yes, they are the sweatiest players in all of Outcome Memories history. Now, on to our last piece of Executioner music. This is the last one, I swear. So, this one is exclusive to 2011X. See, 2011X has this neat little ability called Rage Mode. The one that I said was just pure spite? What if I told you that also has its own music? Not gonna lie, this is one of the pieces of music from this game I listen to the most. I love the energy, the vibe, the high stakes that is in this song. Oh my god, like you can literally feel the rage coming off of 2011X as this theme is playing. Like the moment you hear this song, and depending on how much health you'll have left, this song is probably your fucking death sentence. I won't lie to you. Also, one little detail that I would like to add that I thought was really neat. You see this bar down here indicating how long the rage mode is? That is actually how long the song is. I just thought that was really neat. That was a little nice attention to detail. I love it so much. That's it for EXE music. I love all of it so much. They're so cool. The fact that they gave each individual killer their own music depending on whether they're chasing you or if you're on your last life and they're chasing you, but also for each individual costume that they have. I love it so much. It is so cool. Let's go on to the victims' music. Oh, you didn't think the victims had their own music? Well, do I got a surprise for you. Now, let me set the scene for you, dear viewer. You're on the survivor site, right? And you and your teammates are doing your best to stall the killer, to do whatever you can until the time runs out, right? But then you start noticing one by one each of your teammates start to fall to the hands of the cruel and evil executioner until suddenly you're the last one. Or, as I should say, the last man standing. Yes, folks, each character gets their own last man standing theme. Let's go! Yes, folks, when you are literally the last man standing, you will get your own custom theme depending on which character you pick. Yes, each and every single character on the victim roster has their own unique last man standing theme. And god damn it, are they all so fucking cool. They really match that vibe of like, it is just you and the executioner, and you have to use everything within your arsenal to not only try to escape with your life, but to hopefully avenge your fallen teammates that have, sacrificed everything they had. And I think that's really well put in these songs. I really like it so much. And you know what? Each song perfectly matches the vibe of each character that they're representing, And I love that very much. If I had to choose some of my favorites, it would probably be Amy, Cream's, and Eggman's Last Man Standing theme. But we could talk about that more when I give them their own dedicated Music Power Hour video. Look out for that. Anyways, also a little tidbit about these. You'll notice that when a person dies and then you become the last man standing, the clock will readjust itself. That is because it's readjusting itself to however long the character's last man standing theme is. And according to the wiki, Sonic's last man standing song is the longest out of everybody else. Man, if you're Sonic and the last man standing, I pray for you. Anyways. And yeah, I think that is everything song-wise for each of these characters and the game itself. I highly recommend giving every executioner and victim song a listen, as they are all so amazing and awesome, and they were made by very talented people. So you know what? Go show them some love. Oh, was that move for you? Oh yeah, the emotes. The emotes also have their own dedicated songs and shit to them. But you know what? We're not getting into that today. That's gonna be a different video coming up. Yay, anyways. And with that, I think that is everything about this game. Wow, that was a lot. I don't want to think about how long this video is going to be. I know I didn't really go over any of the private server stuff. That there is exclusive content and stuff right in there. But this script is already long enough, and I straight up don't feel like it. I'll show you some private server stuff. Look, it's Sans and Mama Coco. Anyways, that's all you're getting in this video. If you want me to talk about private server stuff, comment it down below. I'll make a separate video on that. Why not? And I also know, like I said before, I didn't really talk about the drama and all that stuff. I did not want to worry about all that shit. I purely just wanted this video to be me gushing about my favorite game because I love it so much. I didn't want it to be tainted by anything else, alright? And with that, I think that is everything I wanted to talk about from this game. You know what? I love this game. It has a very special place in my heart. Again, it mixes my two hyperfixations together. It has a chokehold on me and won't let me go. Please help. Anyways. But yeah, whenever I did play this game, I enjoyed every single second of it, especially playing it with friends. That was so funny as fuck. I loved every moment of it. And all the videos on this game, like the Survivor and Server Wipe compilations, have really become a sort of comfort for me. Don't ask me why. I can't answer that question for you. Maybe there's something wrong with me. Anyways. But yeah, it's grown a very special place in my heart. I love it so much. I even made a dedicated AU for it with my OCs in it. That is how bad this hyperfixation has gotten. And before you ask, not the OCs from CC's lore, my own personal OCs that you will never see. That AU, it'll never see the light of day. I'm telling you that much. The only reason I bring it up is to show how much I love this game and how much joy it has sparked in my life. Despite everything that has happened, a whole lot of shit has happened, but I still hold love for the game. I still love it very much. All the passion and dedication that went into it, it's I don't know how to describe it. Like, it's wonderful, beautiful to see the amount of love and passion that went into this game, despite it being a silly EXE game. But you could tell the people who made it really loved this game. I know most of you probably will never pick up the game or probably will never have an interest for the game like I do. But if you still took the time to sit and listen to me yap about what has essentially become one of my many hyperfixations, truly, thank you so much for hearing me out. You don't know how much it means to me to just have one person just sit there and listen to me yap about something that I love so dearly. And with that, I say we can finally close the chapter on outcome memories. I guess you can say we have arrived at the outcome of our memories. Ha! Anyways, that's the end of this video. Tell me what you think about the game. What was your favorite part of it? Did you have a favorite piece of music? Which character do you see yourself maining as in this game? I'm mostly a Cream and a 2011 X main because, you know, I don't play the game as much as I used to, so I can't buy any of the other killers. So I'm stuck with 2011 X. Me and him are stuck together like glue. Oh god, no, help me! And with that, I've been CC Lars, these have been my familiars Rexford and Camus, and we'll see you next time I have something else to ramble about. Peace!